No whining.
I know.
Arno,
Send him a quick one.
you were awesome, and I can't wait to take over the world with you.
I like the concept. I look forward to reading it. Put it that way.
Congratulations, Arno. I'm very proud of your book release. Wish you all the good, great things in the future. I look forward to working with you more.
I wrote to him, we found a lot in common, our sense of the world, our sense of fairness, and our sense of possibility. He shared openly about his past as a white power skinhead, but was afraid I'd be condemned for it. As I've seen the sincerity behind every decision he makes for the organization and the complete calm with which he approaches every person who doubts his change of heart, I've come to realize just how special a person Arno Michaels is, and just what an important role he has in the future of race relations in America and abroad.
Why life after hate? To help people learn to set aside their prejudices and embrace differences. Being a guy with an imposing presence and a lot of tattoos, I face more prejudice than most white people. I realize that I'm a bit of an eyesore, but beyond the surprise first glances, my appearance tends to evoke vibes of fear, disgust, disdain. People have corralled their young children at the sight of me, as if I'm likely to eat them. I'm serious, they really have. Most of all, though, my life after hate is my apology to the world. In 1988, I was a founding member of what went on to become the largest white power skinhead organization on earth. In 2007, over a decade since I came to my senses, I was approached by a German skinhead online who said that although he knew I was no longer active in the movement, I was still in good standing. He offered me a trip to Europe, where he had musicians who would serve as my band for a few Centurion shows. Centurion, my former hate metal band that sold over 20,000 CDs worldwide by the mid-90s, and who knows how many more since then, was apparently still quite popular with the disgruntled European white kid demographic. Popular enough to make it worth their while to fly me over there. It's time to break the silence. It's time for everyone who listens to the lyrics I wrote and shouted, telling them to hurt innocent people, to know that I've somehow lived to regret everything I've said, everyone I've hurt. I don't want them to suffer the same regret. I know where racists are coming from, and I pity them as much as I pity their victims. Hate takes a terrible toll on life. Fear is indeed the mind killer.
I guess I'd just like to say I'm really proud of him for actually getting to this moment in his life and the process that he's come through and the fact that he's able to share it with other people. Hopefully some other people might make the shift and make the change and follow his footsteps.
It's really making a difference. Well, I can't wait to read it. I can learn more about it.
I've read it. It's scary. It's so good. You know, this is good type for me. I'm going blind. I don't have to hold this far away. I had to jack it up.
I think it's been awesome looking. I'm so glad to have this actually met you today.
It was really interesting.
Here we go, dude. How old are you?
Discussing the horrendous things I've done is a painful process. When I feel pain, I'm prone to lashing out. Early drafts of this were rife with jabs at people who had nothing to do with the story of me being a skinhead. I just assume not tell you this, but I feel obliged to do so because it reveals that I'm still struggling with my anger. But how much of that discomfort is caused by the lens through which my past is examined? The pain in question flares when I relive things that I'm horrified I've done. Hurt that hurt made can propagate if we're unable to let it pass. And I hope thought-provoking and conversation-inspiring. I had lost my mind for a good long stretch. Compassion brought me back as it was given to me and as I learned to give it back. Please talk about the mindless things I've done with your friends, or better yet, perceived enemies. We've all done mindless things, but also smart things and amazing things. Let's share our experiences with honest openness and see if we can help each other out in the process. Did I ever pause for a second then to think that someday I would vomit once I knew what I was doing? That I would cry? I faintly recall whispers of "don't do this, don't hurt them," coming from somewhere long ago in my soul. But each plea was literally drowned in suds of Huber and Miller and old style until the junk thrill of combat thundered once again. By that time I had taken countless blows to the head with a wide assortment of blunt objects as a result of my street fighting habit. I had stared down the barrels of pistols, shotguns, and rifles and laughed even as bullets whizzed close enough to bring the hairs on the back of my neck to attention. In 1989, 3 years earlier, I had made a first drunken attempt at wrist slitting with a broken Huber bottle after being told that I was 1/16 Native American by my mother. 2 years earlier, my close friend Chuck was murdered in a post-bar brawl of his own. But none of those foolhardy moments gave me the slightest idea of what death was all about. I spent more time with my band Centurion, writing and performing vicious songs about how I was ready to kill and die for precious white babies than I did spending time with the beautiful white baby of my own. Following a trend amongst the more intelligent members of our organization, I began to spend much less time fretting over securing the existence of my race and a future for white children, and much more time with my child. Before I had fully shed my racist ideology, I called off the race war with the realization that my daughter needed me. We were all each other had. Being a racial holy warrior wasn't going to save my daughter. It would take her from me via death or prison. The more time I spent with her, the more it became imperative that I leave the movement.
Arno, you did a great job. I'm really happy to be working with you, and I'm really proud of you. And I look forward to working with you soon. Good job, Arno. Yes, congratulations. Absolutely. We're very proud of you. I haven't seen you in about 5 years, so I'm very excited to see you again.
Thank you, love it. I just met you, but man, you've already inspired me to do so much. I can't wait to see what you got up your sleeves next. I think the work you're doing is life-saving, life-changing. I want to be there with you, and I want to help you as much as I can. And let you know, man, you've inspired me, and I'm grateful for everything you're doing for us. Congratulations.
Arno, I'm so proud of you for having the courage and the tenacity to get your book published and to bring everybody together to spread your message of basic human goodness. I'm just so proud to be working with you. Much love to you. Keep it up.
By 1996, I was completely finished with the white power movement. Traveling from one extreme to another, I sought out experiences that involved interaction with people I had once harbored a vicious hatred for. Blinded by bigotry, I had denied anyone who didn't share my skin tone the simple courtesy of conversation. Once that conversation was allowed to happen, I found that the fear that motivated me to hurt innocent people was utterly unfounded. People who I would have attacked on sight only a few years earlier regularly forgave me, accepted me, and embraced me. As new friends took the place of old ones who were lost to death, prison, and the madness of racism, the positive energy involved inspired me to become continuously closer with my daughter. The pure beauty of her childhood is what ultimately demonstrated just how terribly wrong I had been. There was one particular afternoon that drove that epiphany home. I arrived early to pick my daughter up from daycare. No one had noticed me, so I took in the moment, watching with teared eyes as my little girl played with the other kids. It struck me that the first thing I noticed is that they were all children. Not black children or white children, but the sons and daughters of mothers and fathers. A young black man about my age walked in to pick up his daughter, who leaped into his arms and hugged him, the same way my little girl hugged me. The smile on his face as he listened to his child relate her day in a gleeful, excited stream was the same smile my daughter gave me on a daily basis. I thought of all the people I had hurt, whether with my own hands or by lighting some psychopath's fuse. Those people had moms and dads and brothers and sisters. How did their loved ones feel when they saw this person who was so special to them battered and broken? How horrible would it be to have my daughter exposed to such violence in the slightest aspect? Love for my child thought a dormant empathy for humanity that I was never aware of.
What do you think of his book?
What?
What do you think of Arno's book?
What book?